Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for talking. It's your dance move route. They're throwing me off. Regardless, I'm very
It's the
excited
NLC,
to welcome,
baby.
I'm very excited to welcome you all back to the NLC, where we have one more game here today as Domino and Vanir will duke it out. One team will have their third victory, and that last team route to get that third win is pretty much the last contender for the final playoff spot.
Yeah, I said at the top of the day, right, that we'd get to know a lot more about how this matchup fared in the standings after the other games that we've had. First of all, the first important thing is that Verdant won their game earlier today, so they're now at a 6-win threshold, 4 games clear of anybody on this 2-win loop that we're at in this now series. Natives obviously not able to take down Verdant. We got to see just then Nord absolutely schmandangling Unique, so they're not really going to be in the race. And this matchup now between Domino and Vanir, if you're looking for a race for playoffs, you're kind of hoping that Vanir take this win, because they currently are in a position where if they can win this game, win a couple more, and then take down Verdant, even if they and then they land level in score, we'll have a tiebreaker at the end of the split, just because they'd be level on head-to-head. Domino played Verdant last week, they lost, and as such are 0-2 down. So even if we go to the end of the season and Domino are even with Verdant have that head-to-head advantage.
And just to add some extra context, tomorrow, Vanir will be playing against Verdant. So if Vanir win here, they have that all-deciding game tomorrow, and if they win that as well, all of a sudden it's only a 2-game difference with 4 games to go, and then anything can really happen, especially because Verdant are still yet to play both Riddle and Nord in the second round robin. So then anything can happen. So it's all on this week really, and it's all on Vanir. They need to win this. They need to win tomorrow as well. Domino, they can still make playoff if they win this game, but then it will require, it seems like, Vanir and the other teams to beat Verdant quite a lot, because they would have to finish high with a better score than them, and that will require quite a lot since they're 4 games done at the moment.
Clear already.
6 games left to go. So a lot of pressure on both of these teams, as obviously the draft has now begun. I did see Elise being banned. Elise is just really taking over the NLC. How rude.
Elise is taking over everywhere, Duckling. I'm going to be real with you. This champ is not okay. It's worthwhile bans from Domino, and we get to see a little bit more focus toward that jungle pool as well. Ploxy proving to be that point on Vanir that Domino at least feel can be taken away and can be challenged. Wukong as well. So Vi really the only jungle pick that I'm still seeing as like up there. We are going to have to dive a little bit deeper in our jungle meta in the NLC. We'll have to wait and see where we come through. We can get some Lee Sins potentially, something a bit more crazy to come out as well. But I expect bot. Oh wait, I lied. I forgot about the tree. He been permabanned. Please just lock this in. It's in. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I mean that seems very telegraphed when you don't ban Maokai. That seems a bit silly.
I mean, it's been banned so much you didn't even realize it hasn't been banned this game, because you thought it was already gone. It's an understandable
It's a formality,
thing. Yeah, when you really do think about it. Now though, on to Domino, the team we know who likes to play early. They've done it before and they will do it again. Shakale gets his eye on his Lee Sin. It worked against Riddle for 25 minutes, but then they got outscored.
This is true. And, we said we could see some crazy stuff early on. Shaolin opts to go for the Syndra. When we interviewed Shaolin Duckling, he said, I am a Syndra one-trick. So, going to play the Syndra when he gets the opportunity to. I really like this mid 2 versus 2, just in general. You have way too much damage, way too much CC as well once you hit that level 6 marker. It's a lethal kill on whoever you choose in the early stages of this game. So Domino have got a route to win already.
So Domino have something as Vanir now look to pick up some more defensive tools as well. Obviously damage in the sire, but someone who can, for example, juke the Scatter the Weak or the Unleash power with her Feather Storm. So adding that extra bit of defensiveness into his own build, as we now are looking to Luca. Locking in maybe mid lane here, because you already know the matchup you're going up against.
And support is the answer. It pairs nicely with the Xayah, though, I will say, and remember, 13-3, so we have got a lot of engaged supports returning to having some semblance of control, but Nautilus opens you up to getting counter-picked very early on, and I think that Snubby could just take a Braum here, and you have a really good support matchup in general. Likelihood is that they just match one of these roles. They're going to go for the Varus. I don't mind that. That's a very powerful AD carry that would have been taken away in the second ban phase. So, and I don't think the Braum's going to get banned. I equally don't think that Snobby's going to pick the Braum. But if they were going to, then if they were going to pick any support, mine would be Braum.
Definitely an option, and he's also open as well, something that has been very broken. Not quite an engaged support, but it is a very strong support nonetheless. As the Akali now gets trimmed out, obviously Domino wanna trim out that mid lane matchup pool, wanna give Shaolin the best matchup possible.
You could get rid of things like an Echo as well. Why have I said Echo a lot so far? I don't understand. This champion is not in the meta. I've been warped by the North American space. I've seen an Echo over the weekend, so that's my fault. But it's a good matchup into the Syndra, I will say. Gonna get rid of the supports here. You have to imagine, oh, they banned Braum. Yo, they're listening. They know the source. Renato is another great ban then, if you're thinking about things that directly counter the Nautilus. Bard is also up there, but that's a little more niche and not particularly relevant in the meta, I will say. There's always a place for a Bard if we're going along that course, but I think that Snobby actually fits really well with the Bard, so I actually wouldn't be surprised to see that ban here either.
So 2 mid and a spanned out now from the side of Domino, removing both the Akali and the Azir. Maybe another support ban here to come through from the side of Vanir. Annie is still open. There might be other supports in the meta as well. Regardless, though, it is that pool I would expect to trim, or maybe they want to pull off, maybe a strong top lane or something like that.
Yeah, because they still have to blind for top lane. So they may just be thinking, well, I don't want to play against X champion.
The Sion.
Okay, I think there are more abundant champions in the meta that we can be banning away if we're like particularly worried. Things like Cassante Jax are both still open, so it doesn't particularly stand to my reason.
Is that a Sylar support? It could be a Sylar support.
Or we're preempting Nor top lane. Yeah, I mean, it looks like Sylar support, right? It's just why? And I'm curious. I believe in it. So when we first came in, Snobby had been making some incredible roams to the top lane, to whatever lane he'd felt like, really. And Silas is a good roaming support because he engages really well with Abscond Abduct. However, you have just picked Gnar, which Silas is a counter pick to, because you can just steal away the Mega Gnar and you don't have to charge up for it. That's why I mentioned like you're preempting the Gnar pick. I just assumed Vanir wouldn't pick it, but they have done. So now there's a little bit more flexibility in the Domino draft than I would have liked.
Yeah, this is very, very interesting. Now I'm just waiting to see what Domino locks in here, because top lane is still the option. My assumption is it's Snappy, as you say, with the roams on the Silas. So top lane still needs to be locked in here, maybe some front line, but Domino's draft, after the change of Shakel in the jungle, has been very interesting. Very, very interesting. And I'm excited to see, what happens this game with the rest of them just locked in. That is a lot of early game damage, again, with the Lee Sin and the Renekton.
Yeah, part of me really wanted to just see like a Bard locked in here, but I'm going to have to live without it. Silas support, though. It's our first showing in the NLC of a Silas in the support role. That'll go onto the list of flex picks that we've had throughout this split. And this has been played a little bit or globally, excuse me. We've seen, I think at least, we've definitely seen a couple in North America. I know that Busio in particular is a fan of the Silas support. Whether he's translated that to stage yet, I couldn't tell you. I think he was pulling it from Carrier as well. So this is definitely a pick that goes transcontinental, transglobal, into multiple spaces of the League of Legends ecosystem. Not completely unfounded and certainly has precedent.
I'm excited to see it happen. I've seen a couple YouTube videos on it as well. People playing it in solo queue. I think it's Happy Chime Noise who makes these videos about picks that someone have niched and then managed to at the very least get master elo with. And someone has done that with, a full AP engaged support Silas. And I actually watched the video. Very interesting. And it's very aggro. I am very much looking forward to see what Snappy can do, because he has to go around. He has to get the duels. When he is at level 6 as well, so many good ultimate to steal to make plays around the map with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at that Mega Gnar for one. You just hit one E onto somebody, and if they're in the middle of everybody, slam into a wall. You're in a great spot there. So there's a lot of tools open to Domino. We've talked about their early game playmaking capabilities, but we have to remember there is a entirely different side of the draft to take into account. And Xayah Maokai are really, really strong champions. I think Nautilus is really strong as well in this patch. And I think that just the generic death ball nature of this composition might just yield enough profits. They've got really good setup around objectives, really good pick control between the Maokai and the Nautilus. So as much as I'm, a fan of the diversity that Domino have pulled in, this may not be the greatest time to have done it. And I think that with Vanir just going stock and standard, they're going to have a good shot.
Yeah, and I think you're highlighting it, right? Vanir, stock and standard. Domino, it's Domino. Ever since we've seen them with Chikale in the jungle, they're spicing things up, and either it works or it does not work. And this one, I feel like it could go both ways. To me, a lot of it depends on how Snappy teams up with Chikale and really utilizes their early game damage, and if they're able to get some kills and get that snowball rolling, because then if Snappy gets ahead, gets a couple kills alongside Chikale, he's gonna deal a lot of damage. And I don't think Vanir will be ready for that. But if nothing happens in the early game, I think Vanir just scale up and win a normal game of League of Legends.
Well, we're not having a normal game of League of Legends Duckling. All 10 members are beelining it through the mid lane. We've taken a 5 off, but they could very well be level 1s afoot.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if this game led to something like that after seeing the draft. And they're both going into each other's red buffs. I hate to find anything because obviously they're visiting each other's red buffs.
This is that do they know that they know that they know that they know type situation. And how much do you like triple guessing one another in the pathing that people have made? Because there are like 4 different spots where either of these teams could be, just because you've made an invade on one side of the map. It doesn't mean that they're not still on the same side. Like, for example, Vanir could have all been in that bot brush, right? In the tri brush on bot side. They've not checked it yet. But they are looking like they're going to face check these 3-4 members of Domino. Now, remember, Ploxy should go sapling at level 1 and be able to check these brushes. Touches on vision.
Staying. Both touching Chrisberg is on vision, and it's touched. That gets locked up. That's unfortunate for the side of Dominus. He does have
Ignite.
that Dredge find away. Yeah, Ignite popped.
That's overzealous. That's too much.
Yeah, a bit too aggressive.
Don't have cooldowns. And unless somebody starts flashing there's no real need to burn the Ignite. It's like a little bit of extra damage in at level 1. I mean, a little bit. Looks like they're going to be able to steal away the red buff, unless I think Ploxy's got Smite and is walking in at level 2. So this is actually really bad for Domino. It's a 50-50, and this is really bad.
Yeah, now they need to kind of force something, it feels, as Chikale is low. He's tanked up the whole red buff for so long. And this game just gets weirder and weirder, and Chikale is so far behind already.
And the timing, actually, from Domino is just a bit too off. They engage onto touch, and then they're behind. No. Oh no, Chikale, he's still level 1, bless him.
I think Chikale might actually just die here. The Smite doesn't heal that much anymore, forced to flash over the wall, but Ploxy will just follow. It is a horror start, as Chikale hasn't picked up a camp in 2.5 minutes.
I don't know quite what Domino do from here. This is a really tough spot to be in. Their composition thrives on early game chaos, but they failed the early game chaos part.
Yeah.
So this is really difficult. Like, really difficult.
I'm confused. I'm very much confused right now because you're Chikale. You're level 1, 3 minutes into the game. What do you do? How do you play the game when your opponent's jungler has taken your blue buff as well?
I mean,
you tried to see the red buff. That's not happening. He finally gets a buff underneath his spell, but he could get taken down here as well. Slinky has rotated up. Yeah, he's dead again. Chikale might just be dead again. Okay, I spoke too soon. Nice escape there. But it is Vanir owning his jungle at the moment.
But imagine you're Chikale, right? You spend your entire level 1... Okay, he smited that away as well. Fight.
Oh, Ploxy might die here, actually. This could be what turns it around because he has no flash. And Fyumping picks it up. Doesn't have the double buff. Here comes Snappy, as you say. Fyumping, though, very low, gets taken down onto Lingui. Chikale's so low, he doesn't want to overcommit, and Snappy now too far forward.
Lingui can go crazy there. Not going to go for too much more. The support roam from Domino does sort of save this play a little bit, but Vanir are still very much up. And Chikale is going to be able to get some respite in the lane, in the game, in his early jungle pathing, rather. As that roam from Snobby obviously comes at a cost. Lari loses out on a plate, but no summoner spells, which I think is the really important part here. And with a Xayah in the match as well, just getting gold onto a Xayah early is actually really terrifying. She's a great late game hyper carry because of the self peel that she provides. Navori quick blades as well means that she actually does a lot more damage earlier on. So getting gold there, a really good place to have it. Fyumpbun obviously going in and manages to find a good stun despite the twisted advance stalling a little bit, but goes down afterwards. And again, the kill onto Lingui now means that top side 1 versus 1, if it wasn't hard enough, just got even harder because Lingui's got double buffs. The wave was in a bad spot. The double buffs are hurting as well. Shikael kind of forced into this to bail out the Renekton.
No flash though at the very least, so they should be able to take him down. Double buff transfer complete as Shikael gets it back.
Wow.
And that's nice for him.
I don't know how Domino have managed this. They've done exceptionally well. From the first 2 minutes, they were looking like it was doomed. But then since that, it's all turned back around for them, and to the point that I'd actually say they're in a positive position. Yes, Pluxy obviously has a serious CS lead and has got those tier 2 boots, but the fact that Shikael has been able to salvage the experience that he has and has moved into this 5-7 minute period with a pickaxe in his back pocket and even on levels, again, exceptional performance.
Shaolin cancelling his back here as well. He also got a bit more poke on out to Luca. And for Snappy to now be back in the bot lane, obviously that means he's not doing much at the moment, but he's getting some crucial XP, right? Because that level 6 is going to be a massive spike for him to really unlock the map in terms of the ultimates he can steal. As Champion has rotated into the mid lane as well. Luca does have level 6, but he is also in a 1v2. Flash forced away from Shaolin. It's actually Luca winning out on that one.
For now, there are a few more Domino members still here. As long as this wave's here, I think Luca dies. He's got no flash.
It's never just one member of Domino. Let's be completely honest. That's 3 man. The mid lane are not included of Domino.
Play safe mid, guys. Luca. Play safe mid, please, Luca. We need to be avoiding those. Of course, /S, massive satire. That just is feels bad when you win your 1v1, even like a slight 1v2, right? Shaolin forced back to base. The Renekton comes in and you're like, oh, okay, I've staved off this attack. But then Snobby and Shikael come in and make your life even more miserable. It's absolute doomsday.
It's a very weird game. I don't know how to put a word on it, but that's definitely been action. There's been rotations, and that's led to level leads, CS leads, and now Shikael comes back top to, just right his wrongs one more time and try and put Lingui under even more pressure.
Yep, here comes the stun.
Yeah, still no flash, so Shikael should be able to get that. No, Lingui running for now. Very good boomerang return, as he can now look to build up the hyper movement speed. Shikael can't close the gap anymore. Very good Sonic Wave, though. I was holding my breath and waiting to see if he could hit it, but he did. Nicely played from Shikael.
I thought tier 2 boots would be enough there. Between the hyper procs and the tier 2 unplated steel caps, I thought he was just going to be able to walk it out, but the final Sonic wave from downtown, and Shikael manages to find another kill here. Like we say, Domino's early game chaotic style really play into their hands of this composition. The issues are going to be that the plates are not going their way, right? Top lane still 5-5 everywhere, really, in that same situation. But Vanir, they've got 2 plates bot lane, 1 plate top lane. They are in a much better position in terms of gold than just kills, right? This is a great example of kills not being the whole story, despite the fact that it's 2-4 in favor of Domino. There's a lot more carnage at play. The fact that Shikael has been sacrificing a lot of his farm, Ploxy hasn't. He's got a massive lead in the CS department. I think they're probably about even overall in terms of gold. But it's a very scary situation for Domino because it's like one wrong move and all of this work to keep them even is just going to be undone and they're going to be super far behind.
And one thing that I want to say, we can now conclude about Domino after having watched them for a couple of games with Shikael, is they're interesting to watch. I mean, their games are fun. And sometimes it goes well, sometimes it goes wrong.
Are we going to ignore that?
Well. Yeah, we're just going to mention it as Snappy. We'll look for touch here. He does have the flash, though, so won't be able to connect on the abscond abduct, as the Herald has now been started up as well by Pluxy.
I hate to take us back to this, but the fact that Shaolin is dying in the mid lane is really detrimental. Not just like, oh, it's one death early on, kind of sucks. It's like the entirety of the tension in the early game from Domino is just relieved in that one kill, and Vanir just again accelerates so far ahead. Shaolin is really quite far behind in terms of experience, as well as that gold department. Yes, he's got the Lost Chapter tier 1 boots, but Luca's going to go back to base right now. He's got those Mercury treads for safety, and honestly should never really fall again unless it's a bit of a replay of what we saw from them last time. Touch and Crispberg, they're looking for something. Larry has a heal.
Oh, hit up by the dredge line, and here comes the depth charge as well. He's just gone in an instant. The Snappy will try and trade back. The depth charge not just untouched. I thought he might have been able to get the kill there. Regardless, though, he hits up Chrisberg and doesn't need to anything
Here
else.
come
Here
the
comes the kill,
fellas.
though. Sonic Wave available. Can he snipe out the recalling? Touch. Doesn't see him yet. Snipey, man. He plays with confidence. He's so far forward with little to no HP.
Yeah, and now again, the knock-on effects of this. Domino lose the 2v2 on the bot side. Shaolin and Shakail have to come down to bail them out. That spends a lot of time from Shakail where he's not farming his camps. It's time from Domino and Shaolin where he's not farming mid either. Now Lingui and Fyumpon, this needs to go to the Renekton.
It needs to, right? But it hasn't so far, and the game is slowly but surely slipping out of Domino's hand. That's probably the statement that I think we can make, considering the fact that Vanir have now gotten a couple more kills on the board. They are slowing down the game, and they are turning it into a more traditional style League of Legends game, where they should be able to win up.
Surprised that we didn't see Lingui just go for the all-in there. Ah, Shaolin, you have flash. Should be good.
Oh, actually holds it a bit too long. Maybe trying to get out close to the wall, and that means Snappy. One in trouble as Shakail is here to try and help, but it's a 2v3 until Fyumpyung arrives. Snappy though flashes forward. The twisted advance, a very slow ultimate, but it will connect in the end. But Touch had already hit up the dredge line and he was out to safety. So much invested and absolutely nothing gained from Domino.
It just screams desperation there from Snarby. He knows that they have to try and claw something back, right? This roster of champions needs a lead in the early stages of the game, and the early game is slowly but slowly dwindling away, and the lead is not forthcoming. Great escape from Touch. Oh, he flashes forward.
Yeah, he very much wanted that, and he will get it as well. That's a kill onto Chrisberg, and it's going from bad to worse for Domino all across the map.
Ouch. That's what I have to say for Domino. That's a great flash from Touch, though. I have to give credit where it's due, like getting the perfect timing there to dodge Chain of Corruption. Now Lingui the one in trouble, but he's about to turn Mega. Has no Mega Gnar.
And the damage just not quite there for the side of Domino. And when the damage already isn't there now, this is when it starts to get bad.
Ploxy's got the ulti soon. They're trying to stall for this. He's just hiding. Fyumpyung is going to try and stun, and they're going to try and kill. But oh, okay. Yeah. Ploxy's just there to make sure that doesn't happen.
I cannot believe the games we've had today. We've had storms and we've had closer games, and it's been chaos all around. I think that's fair to say, and this game is living up to that as well. But now they're saying, no, we want to bring you a normal game of League of Legends where we play on our terms, and they're doing that so far. The fact that they clawed back what Domino had just clawed back previously is very impressive to see for them, especially considering how much is at stake this game, right?
Yeah, you're quite right, actually. The fact that Domino, right, they're 0-2 with Verdant, they kind of need this win to keep themselves in the playoff run. They don't find this one. It's relying on literally perfect results going their way for the rest of the season. Vanir in a slightly similar boat, but a little bit more lenient for them. I do like this, though, from Domino. And when we have these teams that aren't performing in the standings as a whole, them just honing and perfecting a style, I'm more than happy for, right? Domino right here, they're saying, okay, we're going to once again draft ourselves into a hole, and eventually we'll get good at getting ourselves out of this hole. It's just not quite been there yet.
And here comes a Herald charge as well, just 30 minutes in. That's more plates, that's more gold than now. It's developed into a 3,500 gold lead for the side of Vanir. Scaling is on their side. They're feeling good, they're feeling confident. This game is in their hands.
Rod of Ages looks to be the build path for Snarby, so I'm curious about where we see the build go afterwards, because I didn't know if we were going to get like true support with just Engage on the Silas, or if it was going to be a mismatch of like cheap AP items like we tend to see from Heimerdingers, for example. But no, this is just all out into, I'm going to be a carry as well. Why not? We'll go 5 for 5. We don't need a typical traditional support, and we're going to hopefully have that lead through the early stages of the game. It's not particularly came to fruition, unfortunately, for them, and you can see that now they're starting to get harassed in their own jungle. When a Maokai has got free reign to do essentially what Ploxy is doing, you feel it, because he's just able to litter every single brush. You face check all of them with your face, and you end up taking a sapling and 300 HP.
So the Drake has been started off by Domino, but I don't know if they will have the Vanirs in the vicinity as well, Larry. the one in trouble, flash and heal, but I don't think it's gonna matter as he gets crunched between two sides of Vanir, though. Domino get one back, actually. Now Luca, the one in trouble, forced to flash away. Chrisberg dishing out some damage. It's a 1-for-1, and in the top lane, Fjormpung finds a crucial solo kill, and Domino somehow find a way back.
Yeah, that is crucial. You mentioned that this Renekton, or I mentioned rather that the Renekton needed to be winning in this top side, and Fjormpung is doing exactly that. Luca now caught between his turrets, and Domino extending a little bit too far here. They do not get punished entirely, but they are certainly reaching, and I'm really happy that they're making these proactive plays. Because they need to. The only way that they're going to end up winning is if they try and wrest this lead back before it gets turbo outscaled.
So the game is not back to an even state by any means, but it is hope for Domino, I should say. They're getting turbo outscaled, so getting this back denies that for now, gives them more space, gives them more time. Good rotation in total for Domino, very quickly 4-man here to respond to the play from Vanir. And as you said, up in that top lane, it was crucial. It went Fjormpung's way, and it just barely did.
And you can see with the build path as well, I'm 90% sure this is that Blade of the Ruin King into, or rather Prowler's Claw into the Blade of the Ruin King. It is a one-shot somebody kind of build path. The issue with Xayah in this particular matchup, if Fjormpung can get on top, is you can't actually immune the W of Renekton. You just kind of ulti preemptively, and then when you land, you have to either use Gale Force Flash, something along those lines, to get away from the stun. And even if you cleanse it immediately, it's not the stun, the CC portion of it, that's the issue. It's the fact that it's 3 Renekton auto attacks in quick succession with a ton of lethality combined with the Blade of the Ruin King proc. It's instant death, and you can cleanse the CC, but the damage still goes through.
Exactly, and 60 minutes into the clock, we did see a second Rift Herald dropped as well towards the mid lane. Got that charge through the turret, very close to going down here for Vanir, as they will be able to pick it up thanks to Chrisberg, who, by the way, has had a very quiet game but has been picking up a kill, 2 assists, and built himself up a CS lead, turret down in the bot lane as well. He's far ahead of his counterpart when you really dig into the gold, and he's just a good old reliable AD carry to have in these late game team fights, and his role will just grow bigger and bigger as this game goes on.
Navori Quickblade's already picked up as well. Fully juiced right now is Chrisberg. He is ready to start partying. Phantom Dancer third maybe, and then you're in the sort of apex position that you could ever be in as a Xayah. You can even go for Bloodthirster. The build paths for AD carries are just so easy these days. Once you've hit second item, it really is pick your poison and have at what you fancy. Going forward, though, Domino continue. They need to find some more from this situation, and I think there's something that's going to work in their favor. Is the fact that it's a cloud tile, cloud map even. So getting away from Maokai saplings traditionally will be a lot easier, right? You walk into a brush. If you've got the cloud tile there, you can actually use your own movement speed to get away.
And this is a Luca in trouble, by the way, up in top lane, as the top side of Domino has really been the only side going well. But I should say the collapse is here, Snabby. Flash is very weirdly forward as Fjormpung, the one in trouble, caught out by Chrisberg and taken down. Dredge line goes wild, so no further engage available. But Vanir enter back and pick up a kill of their own.
1-for-1 here. Both of the sort of people ruminating in the bot lane have got teleport. So there's a world where we see Shaolin and Lingui try and make their moves up here. Rift Herald goes down. Expect Vanir to be able to take this turret. Chrisberg stepping up aggressively.
Oh, this is bad. This is really, really bad for Domino. As Larry gets caught on, and they have to fight this.
Oh, no.
As Shaolin comes in on the flank to instantly get taken down. He gets one back, but there he falls. It's now Chrisberg, the one to just look to pick up the kills. Yes, there's a Featherstorm, but it's just buying time. As the Vanir AD carry picks up 3 kills in this fight. Now another TP in from Fjormpung though. So it's not really over as he looks for Chrisberg. Flash forward, connects, but a flash away from Chrisberg. Buys more time. The kiting is there. The kills as well. He'll pick up another, and it's an ace for Vanir.
Oh, and missed execution from Domino leads to their demise. Vanir kite out gorgeously, and Chrisberg stays alive. I said that cleanse doesn't matter. I was wrong. Uses it perfectly to get away from the Renekton stun and kite out that crocodile. Rift Herald is still going in this top side. They secure the second turret as well. This is that re-engage. And check this out. It's 2 auto attacks instead of just that 3, so it's not instant death. And Fjormpung doesn't have the enraged Q to really one-shot or to finish off Chrisberg's HP. The Q in the minions like takes him up to over 50 Fury, but doesn't take him down to find the kill. A little bit of a whiff on the play, but it's Vanir who come up trumps, and that may well be the game that seals the deal, right? 7k gold lead, and the game had been like so close to being out of Domino's hands for so long. I think it's finally gone.
Yeah, with 3 items now in Chrisberg, as you said, it is pretty much finally gone. What can Domino really do now? That felt like the last fight. If they wanted to get back into the game, it would require a miracle. Maybe Snappy finds the perfect ultimate on Lingui, but the thing is, he hasn't even stacked up a Rod of Ages yet. He hasn't even bought a Rod of Ages yet, so it will take so much time before he really starts dealing some damage.
Yeah, right, we're on support economy, and you're trying to build a Mage's Mythic. You've spent 1100 gold heading toward Merc Treads.
What happened there is the ultimate just disappears. Shaolin now in trouble and gets taken down. I thought Chrisberg was going to be the one targeted as the shutdown goes over to Shakar. They find one touch now running, but here comes Lingui. He could look to try and turn the fight. Does have the Mega now, but it runs out in this instance as well. CC'd up as Snappy goes back forward, but could get taken down by the Hyper Prox. It's a 1-for-1 though in that regard, as Luca slowly but surely making his way up. Lingui still kiting. If Domino overextend, they could get punished, as now Vanir regroup, reset, and they are pushing forward now.
Yeah, Luca had flash here, chose not to go over the wall the way Touch is.
Yeah, Lingui connects on the boomerang, but they can't quite follow up. So a 2-for-2 overall.
Not yet. Luca may still be fancying himself a little bit here. Fumbun is the one under siege, under fire, and with Crown, I mean, Luca can step up like this. You jump on top of him as Renekton, then you're just spending 2 seconds not dealing any damage. This is a crucial fight, really, that goes the way of Domino largely. It's well kited out by Lingui after the fact, but Fumbun, great Prowler's Claw here. One of the things to note is that if you use it whilst they're in range and they then like flash, use a dash, do anything to get out of range, you follow them all the way through. A bit like a Twisted Advance, for example. So it's a really great tool at closing up, as it looks like Snobby has died and it looks like just completely given up on the Rod of Ages. Recognizes, it's too late. It's too late. Spectral Cowl, let's just build tank.
Let's build tank, and Baron will be shredded down here by Chrisberg with his 3.5 items. Luca zoning out the rest of Domino. Shakir, though, does have a chance to get into the pit. I want to say for 3k and dropping ever quicker. What can he really do? Twisted Advance locks him up, and he's dead before the Baron even falls, and that's the Baron secured. 10k gold lead alongside it for Vanir. They're in control. They own this game, and despite Domino getting a couple kills here and there, it just doesn't matter in the whole picture of the game.
Vanir very likely to go 2, 3, and 6, keep their hopes of playoffs alive. It's going to be a long road ahead for them, but the win here certainly do them a good service, and just sort of adds then to the pressure of their remaining games. Look forward to tomorrow for example, excuse me. You mentioned it at the top, Vanir versus Verdant. It's going to prove to be a crucially vital matchup if Vanir finish off this win. With Baron at their back, it looks exceedingly likely they just took the tier 2 in the bot side. And it means that the only turrets left are the ones in their base, or in Domino's base, and they're going to look to try and defend them now.
Snubby locks up Touch, but the damage is just not there to take him down. Chrisberg had to use the Featherstorm to stay safe, and he was safe. He now gets kicked away by Shakir. He's down to about 40% HP, but here comes Luca from the back line, and he'll secure the kills alongside Ploxy. Shaolin forced to flash away. Snappy is running for the hill. Same goes for Fumbun, who's running the wrong way. Maybe trying to get a cheeky teleport out, just maybe getting some minions. It's pure desperation as the base now gets broken open by Vanir.
Yeah, and I mean, as much as you're just stalling here in that top lane, it's going to be a staggered death timer, which is going to give Vanir even more time out on the map with a numbers advantage. 2 inhibitors fall, it looks like 1 mid, 1 bot lane. They got the Baron early on, and now 14,000 gold to the good. All take their resets, all head out to that top side. It's the same sort of situation that we saw Nord in. As long as they're doing things as 5, there's really nothing they can do wrong.
Not much can go wrong, I should say, for them now. 7-1 and 7. Let's see. I mean, Chrisberg, yeah, he bought, there we go. He bought the Bloodthirster. He got his 4th item now as well to stay even more safe. I just don't see Domino coming back from this. They're lacking the damage. They're lacking the power.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, I might have been blind enough to get glasses, but I'm not blind enough to see that Domino have lost this game. Let me tell you that much. As it's a rough one for them because this does ruin their playoff chances pretty much 100%. Not mathematically, but 99.9%.
So with Vanir, you can look at the gold quickly. There's a slight difference in the AD carries right now. Chris Berg, obviously with 7 kills, has got a casual 5k gold lead over Laurie. And with the final push that they need to make really for this game, they head up toward the top side. They've got 10 seconds, 15 seconds left on that Baron. Fjumpun, the last ditch effort. Here go Domino.
Yeah, he's on the flank. He's popped the Dominus. And he hasn't found anyone yet. He's just waiting. Crispberg does have the Featherstorm, has the clinch, has the flash. So let's see if they can catch him. No, they catch out Shaolin instead. And Larry will fall as Crispberg, confident enough to dash forward with the Gale Force, find himself a double kill. Fjumpun's Dominus ran out before he even entered the fight, and he gets taken down by Proxy. The base will be taken down by Vanir, and they keep their playoffs hope alive by destroying Domino in 25 minutes.
Convincingly taking a 3-6 record, separating themselves from the pack. They had a close game up against Ruddy last week, but this time they've been able to convert on the lead that they've been given and put themselves within range of playoffs here. The only team now that we feel confident enough to say there's a chance that they can make that push onto Verdun. It's going to be a tough road ahead for them, but that win obviously stands them in better stead than had they found a loss, and a great little exploitation really of what their composition wants to achieve. They knew from the onset Domino need to just destroy things early on, and from the level 1 onwards, right? Remember, cast your minds back to Shakael not clearing his first camp until 2.5-3 minutes into the game, getting first blooded at his blue after they tried to invade on the red. A myriad of mistakes, unfortunately, by Domino, and rightfully punished by Vanir.
Yeah, it was an interesting game, and let's just take a look at it one more time. Here, Proxy's already killed him, just taking the blue buff as his reward, and here we started to see Domino come back into the early game. They did get some good kills. One thing that I want to mention here, though, the fact that they don't quite have the damage for Luca is so detrimental as Fjumpun then gives up the double buff. They were able to get it back, and that's the thing. I want to commend their resilience. They kept trying to push for things, and they got the game back to a point where they could have won the game for a couple of minutes, but then here, just that bit better. Their scaling combo as well, scaling that much quicker with the kills that they got. Deciding fight here again as Crispberg barely survives the attack from Fjumpun.
Yeah, couple, like we'd said, execution errors coming through from Domino as well. And I'm glad to see that it's like, I think what I would rather is execution errors over like macro errors necessarily, right? Like you can recognize that, oh, I needed to just sidestep this skill shot or something, but learning that conceptually you can't be in a position on the map is a little more difficult and a bit more abstract. So more than happy with the way that Domino have gone about this game, and I think that them as a whole, with this new style that we're starting to see with Shakael and just the start sides of draft that they've been going for, of we win early or we don't win at all, have been really nice, quite refreshing as well. Every time we get into a Domino draft, it's like, oh, what are they going to throw at us this time? Today it was the Silas support. Who knows what it'll be tomorrow when they've got another great matchup.
Yeah, I am very excited to see that. Regardless, though, we are going to bring in Pride from Domino to talk about that game. As it is yet another loss. I'm sad to see I forgot the name, the Octopus being sad.
Octopus, yeah.
It was an exciting game, right? Let's put it that way, because the early game was definitely back and forth. Obviously, the invade went wrong, and that's when it all started to really fall apart. But can you try and elaborate the strategy you guys were trying to play this game?
Well, the red buff should have been ours. That's all I can. If that would have been ours, I think the game would have been totally different. Shakal would have had the time of his life playing that game, but instead he got invaded on by the Maokai. If all goes to plan, I think the early game fighting will go in our hands every time we have such strong champions early game, like Lee Sin, Syndra. Silas has multiple ultis to steal that are really good, like the Maokai ulti, the Nautilus ulti, and we would snowball from there, I think, but it went wrong. Sadly, some communication issues on the red buff, I think. They didn't expect the Maokai to come from Raptors, maybe. And Lee Sin would have needed help with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really liking the way that Domino are changing your, because it feels like you've started to bring up an identity now at the very least. There's a lot of games where we've gone, oh, this is a really aggressive early game composition. Is that something that you're like particularly trying to hammer home, one style, and do it well, or is this just how this particular draft has played out, and you've got more than one tool in the shed essentially?
We got more tools, I would say, but I think playing aggressive is what we want to do. Everybody wants to be aggressive and not be lazy and just wait and scale. So win the early game or not at all, as you said earlier. It's maybe the plan.
Fair. Sorry, so I'm happy that you're obviously that there's more than just one tool. Sorry I didn't mean to seem as insinuation as that was.
No
It seems a
worries.
little bit rude of me, but that's not the intention. I do want to quickly ask though, right? This has pretty much sent you away from playoffs. I think, like Duckling said, it's mathematically still possible, but it's like really difficult from here, essentially.
Yeah.
So what's the move now for Domino? Go on.
Yeah, we're praying that Verdant loses every game now and that we win every game.
It's like, it
basically.
can happen, but
that was kind of that came to mind last time we lost to Verdant, that it's not much in our hands anymore. Like, of course, it is somewhat in our hands that we can like try to win every game, and then if Verdant loses one game, then we go over. I think now that's harder, but still the goal from start has been to win. So. Keep winning, maybe upset a little bit. We almost won versus Riddle last time. I'm a little mad that Ruddy broke the streak. That was ours to take, I think. But, next time we're facing Noor. Maybe we can show that we're able to fight versus those two. I think it went okay first time we faced them. So maybe this time with a little bit more planning and training, we can upset a bit.
Yeah, I very much hope that can happen, and I would love to see you guys get more wins on the board, because one thing I said during the game is, one thing you know now with Domino, that games will never be boring, and I really do like that about you guys. It's interesting to watch, regardless of how it goes. Thank you so much, Brian, for coming on so much.
That was the plan.
Yet another pleasure to talk with you, and have a good rest of your evening. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
And with that, we're moving right into the wins, because we have a happy Flash with us here today, because Vanir have kept themselves in the playoffs race. And Flash, how confident are you feeling ahead of your game against Verdant tomorrow? Because that's really the big decider.
Yes, indeed, that's the biggest and the most important game for us if we want to fight for the playoffs. So we are preparing for that, and I think today's win is a really way to do that.
Was today just another step in the road to preparations for Verdant tomorrow, or was there more? Like, did you do a lot more prep for Domino here, and now you've got to go away and do the same sort of thing for Verdant, or was it Verdant is a goal, and this is like a small obstacle we have to overcome first?
I mean, I won't lie that we didn't prepare in terms of drafts versus Domino that much. We just said like they're gonna ban Sejuani and Elise because it's Ploxy, that's obvious, and something else. So we probably won't pick that. So we were thinking about other picks, what we want to do, and then like our wide and champion ocean pool that we can play, and what we can fit into that, and what will be good with the champions we would like to pick. But however, I feel like this week we are preparing more for the Verdant on scrims, what we can do and what we cannot. So we will see how it will go tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to hear that, because it's obviously a really important game for you guys, and good notch on the belt today to find this win. I want to know for yourself, Flash, what does the not just for the prep for this week, but what has preparations for Vanir improvement looked like over the course of this week? Obviously, coming into this big game, has there been particular steps being taken, or is it the same as normal weeks, let's say?
When it comes to the stats, I think I have to do the shout out to our COO. It's Ninja Ola that was working on creating the app for the wording from the bias data, and also he was working pretty hard for me to create a heat map. So we knew that enemy support movements are a little bit psycho, if I have to be honest. So we were prepared for that, right? Because you could see, and also we saw how the enemy jungler is playing. Also, before the game, we did a quick level 1 prep versus us if we would be playing versus Vanir. So we knew that what spot we are not guarding, which is the ramp near the Raptors when we are playing from the blue side. And I think Domino did a really good homework and they went for an invade for that. But we knew if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen this way. When it comes to the macro and other stuff related to scrims, I think we were trying to learn from the mistakes from our matchups and what we actually struggle in. And yeah, to be honest, I also said during the scrims that one of the scrim we lost the same way as we did versus Rudy, which is a pretty weird engages when we are not connected from our players. So they are right now on the same page and they know that they have to look before engaging. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm looking forward for tomorrow's match.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you. That was really, really insightful. Thank you so much for being so open and talking about the strategies. It's been really interesting to learn a bit more about you guys. I'm very excited to watch tomorrow's game and see if you guys can overcome Verdant and really make that playoff race interesting. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations
Thank you very much.
on your victory, and enjoy your evening, Flash.
Yeah, have a good evening. Bye-bye.
You know, the thing I love about interviews, the guys we get on are always so lovely, man. It's actually very nice to catch up with the team, see how they're doing, learn a bit more about them. It's actually really cool. It puts a smile on my face. It's so nice. And Root, that's it for you and me today. I mean, how have you enjoyed today? Do you have any final words before I close out?
Up the Ruddy.
Up the Ruddy. I mean, simple and quick. I do know, though, that we do have an MVP vote of the day that I do encourage you all to go out on Twitter and vote for. I can mention the MVPs as we have them now on screen. It was Client Game 1, No Name Game 2, Akabane Game 3, Chrisberg Game 4. Head over to our Twitter on NLC LOL and vote for your best MVP of the day or your favorite or whatever. I don't care. Just go and vote. It's important to use your voice. And with that,
give the interactions.
I will say, give the interactions. Up the interactions. Regardless, though, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It has been yet another pleasure to cast for you this entire day. Thank you for being an amazing co-caster. Thank you, production, for being wonderful. I hope you all have a good evening, and we will see you all tomorrow again for more NLC. Enjoy your night. Thank you.